Hello and welcome to India Day 2018. I'm your host for tonight, Karina Patel, and the Culture Chair. I would like to thank everyone for being here today and supporting all the participants and the event. This year we wanted to focus on a very important topic, unity in diversity. With so many religious and ethnic groups and over 1 billion people in India, there is always bound to be a diversity. But a very important part of being such a culturally concentrated country is being united. Every single one of the 29 Indian states is unique in its own way, but it's the similarities that brings us together as Hindustan. I would like everyone to keep this concept in mind as you enjoy this wonderful night of entertainment for you. We hope you'll see the unity and diversity as you take a journey through the modern and ancient sides of India. At this time, I would like to welcome Dr. Vishal Sharma, President of IACA, and Chief Guest, Congressman Rick Allen.
Hello everyone. I give this opportunity to Ramji to introduce our chief guest. Ramji,
thank you very much. You know, Rick Allen is born to a farmer, and I am too. And he's been a native of Augusta all his life. He started his contracting business at a very early age of 21 years. And that was in 1976. And then he's been a successful contractor, and he's headed several charitable organizations, other businesses. He's received several awards, and he is elected as a congressman in 2014. And his wife, Robin, and they have 4 children. There were 12 grandchildren, and he also heads because of his heredity of the agriculture, heads one of the agriculture committee, and is so many organizations involved. I'll stay here, say all night. So may I invite Rick Allen, the chief guest, to address us.
It is a delight to be with you. My dear friend TR, thank you so much for that introduction. I wish my mother were alive to hear that. But she lives within me, and I'm glad of that because she was a wonderful, wonderful lady. It is so good to see what you're doing here tonight. It's so important, not only for your families, but obviously your children, to see your heritage, and you know, this is what makes America great, is for all of us to come together, and I like the unity in diversity. Obviously, this nation certainly needs to look at that and make that a part of its future. We are divided to some extent, but I think we all come together when we participate and look at our history and what the great nations have accomplished. We've been in the district 2 weeks. We'll be in the district 2 more weeks. We finished up our work in Washington Friday 2 weeks ago. I did have to go back. The president called me and asked me to come to the White House Tuesday of that next week. I already had everything scheduled out, pretty much disrupted my schedule, but I'm not going to tell the president, no, I do not want to be on his Twitter. But anyway, went back to the White House, and I want to tell you a quick story that you won't hear in the news. But anyway, we were there to sign the Career Technical Education Bill. Very important bill. We got a lot of folks in this country. We need to get back to work. We got 6.7 million jobs out there right now. We got more jobs than we got job seekers. And this bill does a great deal to make that happen. So we're there, and he signs the bill, and we had a delightful, we were with him about an hour, hour and a half. And, but when he signed the bill, his signature is, real big. And then he passed out the pens, and he said, oh, by the way, I have to tell you the story of the pens. The first legislation he signed, it was a very nice pen, very attractive, gold inlaid, and looked very, very traditional and very old. But he did not like the way that pen wrote. So he said, does anyone have a Sharpie? And they brought him a Sharpie. He signed the legislation. He gave out the presidential pens as souvenirs. And then he asked his chief of staff, he said, I don't want to get away from too much tradition, but tell me about these pens. And he told him a story, and of course it's a tradition, it goes way back there, and the same company's been making the pens. And he said, and Mr. President, they're very expensive. He said, how much do those things cost? He said, they're almost $2,000 a piece. He said, well, I tell you what, let's do this. Let's call Sharpie and see if they'll make me a presidential pen. He did. And he gave these things out. They were Sharpies. They were plastic, beautiful black pen with his signature in gold inlay. Beautiful pen, but it's plastic. It's a Sharpie. And he said, you won't believe this. He said, now I had to order 2,000 of them, but you know what I got those things for? $1 a piece. So welcome to the Trump economy. He is saving taxpayers' money. But y'all, it's been fast and furious. I talked about the economy, what it's doing. It's good for all of us. The tax reform is, in the president's words, huge. Over 4 million people on the front lines received over $4 billion of either compensation increases or additional bonuses or additional benefits as a result of tax reform. The deregulation, and I'm sure you're all feeling that in your businesses. And obviously, we've got a lot of work to do. We've got 6.7 million jobs open in the country, and we got to get folks back to work. And so I'm on the Education Workforce Committee, and like I said, this Career Technical Education Bill is one piece of that. I'm also on the Agriculture Committee, and what we're doing there is we're going to require folks who are work capable, who are on the Supplemental Nutrition Program, to go to work. We got about 20 million people on the sidelines out there. Everywhere I go in my district, people need a skilled workforce, and I'm sure in your business it is the same. We have some wonderful opportunities right here in this community. This president and this Congress is building our military back. We're going to have the military of the 21st century. A lot of that is happening right here in the 12th District of Georgia with the Cyber Command of Excellence. It will be fully deployed here in 2020. We have already seen the results of that, not only at the base, but also at Augusta University's campus on the riverfront. I don't know if y'all have seen those buildings. We opened the first building a couple of weeks ago. I attended. And folks, there are going to be people coming here from all over the country to see what we've done in Augusta, to see what we're doing as far as the gig economy. And I will tell you this, what I'm seeing and what I know that can take place with your help is we can be and will be the Silicon Valley of the East Coast. As far as health care, the conversation is long over on that, long from being over on health care, and I know a lot of you in health care. But we probably won't solve that problem this Congress. But if we get our House back and our Senate back, I believe that will be number one on the President's agenda. He is working on that right now. We did get rid of the mandates, but obviously there's a lot of work to be done in health care. Well, that concludes my update as far as what we've been working on in Washington. But I'll tell you this last story, and I'll leave it with you. 6 years ago, I had a young man that came into my office, and this was before I ever thought about running for Congress. Our business was off about 40%, and I really, under the current government, the intrusion and the regulatory environment from the government, I really didn't see this economy going anywhere. I didn't see me growing that business anymore. And this young man wanted to start his own business, and I said, you know, I'd keep my job, keep my head down, because I'm sad to say, I don't know if we'll ever come out of this. Well, folks, I've been in this district 2 weeks, and it's like somebody flipped on a light switch. Not only here and what we're seeing here in Augusta, and it's happening across this country. People going back to work, there's optimism, folks are excited, and I'll tell you, like I said, everywhere I go, everybody says, I need skilled people, I need a skilled workforce. So we are very, very grateful that today America's back. And we do, and you probably have followed a little bit on the immigration bill. And this immigration bill, at least the Goodlatte one, which I voted for, will be good for India. It'll be good for you. Because we want to get away from the quotas, and we want to get away from the chain migration, and we want to go to a merit-based immigration system. And right now, even though we've got folks that could qualify for visas from India to come here and work and are very qualified to fill a lot of these jobs, they can't get here because of those quotas. We want to open that up. We want to go totally to a merit-based system. We want to fix our broken immigration system, and we want to fix it for the future of the country and your future. And we have, I believe, a very, very good working relationship with your country, with India. We've got a lot of threats over in that part of the world, but know that we stand with you. Know that I stand with you here in the 12th District of Georgia. If our office or our constituent services can ever do anything for you, please don't hesitate to give me a call. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. Thank you.